Just when you thought you were
The coolest guy on the yard.
And then this guy turns up.
Damn right, I'm the coolest guy in the yard with my new McHale Pro Glide mower, 3.1 metres, oh yeah. Morning, this week we are on the farm and we've got loads going on. We are mowing today, we're going to be picking up and baling it and bringing it back in on Friday. There's loads going on back at the farm as well, so we're going to drop this into a two-part vid if we can and bring you up to speed with where we're at with cows and calves and all the rest of it as well. But if we think back to the Yams show, and I said there was a big reveal coming later on in the year, this is it, and this is our new mower. So our original mower was the small 2 metre wide Kun mower. Now, it's a little bit different than what we've got now. That mower itself was basically a twin drum mower, so when it cut the grass, it put it into a big swath in the middle of the row. What we've done now is we've had this new mower, the McHale Pro Glide 3100, and one of the reasons we've had that is to try and obviously get on quicker in what we're doing, because obviously we're going to be cutting now an additional metre in terms of the width for every run. We can also run faster. It's quite clever in terms of the old Kun mower, as good as it was, it only tilts in two directions. This is almost on like a bit of a swivel head, so it follows the ground a lot better than what the other mower does. We're still running the other mower because we've got 60 acres to do, the weather is with us, we want to get it done, and we're thinking if we sort of hit and miss with how the other mower works and this new mower, because on the back of this new mower we've got what's called a conditioner. And the idea behind the conditioner is that as the grass is being mown, it comes out the back and it's being knocked around by these blades that come out the back of the mower. Now the idea of that is it bruises the grass and effectively enables the grass to wilt quicker. So when we come back to looking at older videos where we've been messing around and it's rained on us and we've been trying to get everything done, baled and in, and we've had a few days and it's rained in between, we're hoping now that with this mower we'll be able to not ted out because it conditions it and it fluffs it up and sends it out. So we won't need to ted, so we'll save on the tedding cost. And at the same time, it's only going to be a 24-hour period, we think, between mowing and rowing it up. So hopefully that shorter window from when we're effectively mowing and when we're rowing it up and baling it, and the minute we're baling it, I'll get onto that afterwards, but while we're doing that, the shorter the window the better for us, because obviously if it rains, that's where we don't want to get caught out again like we have done on previous years. We had some particular bales that we baled last year that were that wet that it just made everything hard work at the farm. Everything sagged, everything sunken at the same time. The quality of the silage wasn't what we were looking for. It's made everybody's life a bit harder in terms of being able to ration feed and get an exact recipe of what we're after. So hopefully this will sort it out. We've had the grass tested by Joe from Oaks's, and basically this has come in at 16% protein and the sugars are there, starch, everything's there, everything's right for us. So we're on with mowing now. Like I say, we've got the both mowers going. I think because we're due 10 days of dry weather and it is nice and warm now, the bottom line is, with the fact that we have got every other row or every third row that's in the swath from the twin drum roller, that shouldn't really make a great deal of difference to us when we row it all up, because it'll all mix up as one and that's ultimately going to be fine, I think. So this time we're baling. Now I'll get back to it on the farm, but we have been granted planning for our silage clamp. Unfortunately we were a little bit late putting the planning in, and at the same time I'll actually commend the council for once. They have rushed our application through, it's gone through, and they've granted us permission for the silage clamp. So that means we can now get on with building that. So we've got the footings to get in hopefully next week. Obviously we're going to miss first cut, bottom line is we've got to have it up for maize no matter what, because we've got nowhere to put that. But it'd be really nice if we could get it up for third cut, and if second cut, that would be a massive, massive bonus. So, but as for the mower, I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with it. Unfortunately for me though, about 2 more runs up and down while I'm talking to you guys is about all I'm going to get time for, because Ryan has commandeered the John Deere and the mower as his own now, so I'm not really allowed to drive it. He's allowed me to get on it just to do my little bit for the vid, but no, I've been banned. It's now his job. See you back on the farm. Okay, so back on the farm, we're going to get on to cow numbers, what we're doing with the fields, with the grazing, with the bits and bobs all in next week's vid. But for now, we have got Philip here at the minute, Philip Walton. He is doing us some more fencing work, and this 20-acre paddock here that we've got, or field, we've split into 3 paddocks, so roughly about 7-ish acres. I'll get to why in next week's vid. But to finish off really, I suppose, on this week's vid, which is all about silaging, I did have a little bit of an envious moment because I looked across the field and I saw A.R. Richards with their nice shiny new chopper picking up the grass and putting it in the silage trailers, and they are obviously carting it off to one of our neighbours' silage clamp, which we've not yet got. But like I said before, council have been good enough to give us our planning permission. So that there shed you can see in the distance is the straw shed, or where we keep the straw. And then off the side of that, we've got that 60-foot gap before the silage clamp effectively starts. It's fantastic for us. We've got these 3 bunkers. So unfortunately, we have missed first cut. I do think, like I said before, we're going to miss second. But as long as we get third and maize in, that's the main thing for us this year. And then from a planning perspective, I don't think we're going to put planning in for anything else this year. I know I've spoke in the past about the big shed that I want here for the fattening stock in the end of the site. That we'll look at probably next year. And again, I think given that we're going to have that 60 foot of yard space between the existing straw shed and the new silage clamp building, that just begs to put a roof on the top. Because what we've done is we've run the grid lines all the same. So the new silage clamp effectively framework all lines up, or should do, with that of the existing straw shed. So when we come to do it, we haven't got any legs, any foundation, so we've saved the cost of all of that. And then effectively all we've got is this infill set of rafters, or an infill roof, just to cover that yard over. And then that for us will become, well, arguably one side a little bit of loose housing, and the other side with a sort of feed passage down the middle, but the other side will become hospital pens for anything that I'll get onto next week. But we have got a handful in there that are causing us a bit of grief, that have calved down, and there's been a few issues. And we can just put them in a pen on their own and just handle everything a lot easier than what we presently are doing. But as it turns out, I wasn't the only one to be a little bit envious today, because while Ryan kicked me off his tractor and mower, and he sat there driving along mowing, having his nice little moment with his sandwich box on his lap, Mark and I, we went and had a nice slap up breakfast at the auction with cake, cans of Coke, coffee, all sorts. So Ryan, I'm sorry, you may have kicked me off your tractor, but me and Mark, we are 2 old cats that don't get fucked by no kitten, pal. Anyway, silage and montage, it's going to be a beast of a one. If you like what you've seen, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll catch you next week. Boom.